Hello everyone, welcome to Cookies Enabled. I am Will, your host. Unfortunately, as you can tell, I don't have Andrew here, my secondary host and editor of the show. He is working, unfortunately, tonight and will not be part of the show, unfortunately. So we will be proceeding as normal without him. Unfortunately, hopefully, this isn't too terribly boring with just me talking the whole time. So hopefully we have some people tune in and join along in our chat down below and leave some comments. And I know last week we had a really good audience, and I would love to see that happen again. So we'll see how this goes. Now, normally, we have some SpaceX news. Normally, we have a lot of cool SpaceX news. Unfortunately, I have no SpaceX news for you. And I'm sure Andrew would have had some kind of an interesting story. Didn't really get enough time to connect with him. I think work kind of sucked him in, unfortunately, as it does to all of us. So I don't have a ton of special SpaceX news. I do know that they did have to rework a few of their rockets and things, but I didn't really get a chance to dive into any of those articles and really see what they were reworking or getting prepared to do or anything like that, or any launch dates or anything. So I'm really sorry. I do know they one of their shuttles will be docking with the International Space Station sometime this week. And that is supposed to be like a monumental moment for them as well. So very cool. I'm super happy to hear that. But that's all I really have for SpaceX news. I have more space news, though, as we were supposed to have been talking about this lovely, amazing telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope was supposed to have launched pretty much today. Actually, today was the original launch date, but due to poor weather, was pushed back. And now it will be on December 25th, or Christmas Day. So definitely tune in. This will be an Eastern Time broadcast. According to the space.com website, they will be launching this puppy at 6 a.m. So it's an early get up to watch, but I'm sure it'll be recapped on your morning news for that day. There's a lot more going on other than that thing, but this is pretty historical event. I feel like a lot of people should try to tune in for. I know we've mentioned the James Webb Space Telescope and how this is really going to be replacing the telescope of Hubble. I mean, not necessarily replacing, but because Hubble's still working, doing just fine. I don't have any bad Hubble news, so that's good news for Hubble. For those of you that know, I'm usually reporting that Hubble is broken or in repairs or whatever, but not right now. So anyway, James Webb, on the other hand, has had nothing but delays since its start, and hopefully this amazing telescope will get into space pretty soon here. I am super excited about this, and if it happens this week, then history will be made, because it was supposed to originally happen today. I should have already been reporting on it, and now I can't. It's going to be on Christmas. What a Christmas present that is, everybody. So definitely, while you're opening those presents around the Christmas tree, take a look out the window, because there might be a shuttle launching that thing off into space. So, not totally done with space news either. I have a little bit more for you guys today. Thank you to the one viewer that's tuned in. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but I appreciate you. The Parker probe. Now this puppy, I know Andrew just mentioned this guy. We've been really talking about this one a lot. Breaking all kinds of records of speed. This thing was going millions of miles an hour towards the sun, and actually slowed down using the gravitational waves and plasma distortions and stuff that the sun outputs to slow itself down. So that was pretty cool. And it actually got a chance to go through the sun's corona. And not only just go through it, we got a video of it. How about that? That's pretty cool stuff. I love that. So let's pull this video up, because this thing's pretty cool to see. Now, there's no sound or nothing. And you can actually see the Milky Way. They'll point that out in the video here. If you just missed it, there it goes. So you can see a few planets as well. I don't know if they point those out, but this is literally flying through the coronal streamers that the sun outputs. And now this thing's going millions of miles an hour. It's just whoosh, I mean, just stupid fast. So that's crazy cool that they are able to maneuver this thing enough to still get it to not just burn right up in its atmosphere. I mean, it's like really super engineered to not burn up, has special plates on it and everything. I really thought they pointed out the Milky Way, but yeah, that big streak at the beginning is the Milky Way as it's flying around the moon, or I mean the sun. Sorry. Now this thing, this Parker probe has, like I said, already broken lots of records and done a lot of things that nothing man-made has ever done before, and this is another one of those. Now we've sent a lot of probes and things into the sun, but never actually into its like atmosphere to take readings and get videos and actual measurements and whatnot. If you want to check that video out, that one is straight on your space.com website or on youtube.com as well, which is where I've been getting all of these videos that you guys will see today. So definitely thank you, Parker Probe. This one is really cool. I'm super happy about this, because this is a lot of, again, monumental things. We didn't even know if this probe would even hold up in this kind of, radiation in the atmosphere and everything. So, and it does. It totally does. There goes the Milky Way. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I think this is really cool. I just love watching the sparks. It looks like it's just about to burst into flames or explode or something. But it's just the sun. That's just how it is. So, again, check that out, guys. I think that's pretty cool. I'll have all of this listed in the sources below after the video. I have 2 viewers. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. So, Parker Probe going through the sun's coronal atmosphere, which is really cool. That's what we're looking at here in this video, if anybody's wondering. Now, again, the speed, it looks like it's 122 kilometers a second. So that's really fast. I mean, we're talking like just screaming. This thing is going so fast. And it looks like it's 33 million miles from the sun. It's still really far. It's still really far from the sun, but now it's getting into the atmosphere. I mean, the sun's huge in comparison to the Earth. It's really hard to explain. But yeah, it's like putting like I guess a ping pong ball next to like a giant wrecking ball crane or something. Might be a good way to explain the orientation there. Anyway, what I mentioned in the comments is that there might be hoverboards on the moon. And yes, I did not make this crap up, people. MIT legitimately is working on building what you see here in this image, a little hoverboard. And no, I'm not talking about from Back to the Future where you're, jumping on and hovering around the moon. I mean, as cool as that would be to see astronauts like literally hovercrafting around the moon. Not going to be happening. I'm so sorry, everybody. But these little guys can literally, since the moon has no atmosphere, and when the moon and the sun are aligned, there's like a static discharge kind of on the atmosphere of the moon. It kind of creates an electromagnetic field that we can bounce off of and actually kind of generate a little pulse wave of. So these little guys can take, they take salt and a few other random things, and they can actually use like these little ionized beams essentially to bounce themselves off of the surface of the moon. And this will literally keep you afloat along and scanning the moon. So this is great for getting into the nitty-gritty of things, not just on the moon, but this could be a potential for Mars as well. Now, Mars does have an atmosphere, you're right, but it is extremely thin, which is one reason why it's so hard to bring things down to that planet, because they either burn up in the atmosphere or they crash right into the planet because there wasn't enough atmosphere to cushion it. Unlike our beautiful atmosphere, which does a pretty good job just burning everything up on its entry, and very few things actually make it all the way to the ground, which is good. Now, these little hoverboard guys can only support about 2 pounds of weight. And I do have another schematic for you here. It's not a cool photo. It's really boring, but it's from MIT. So what did you expect? This is how they kind of did the experiment here. They have an ion beam and a test vehicle and some springs and a tungsten rod and all this fun stuff. And this is the diagram setup that is really explaining how this is going to work and how this thing will actually bounce around on the moon. They can put all kinds of sensors and scanners on these things to really dive into the moon and figure out all kinds of cool stuff that we just might not know about it yet. So this is a whole field of planetary and asteroid exploration as well, because we could send out a mini kind of probe that's full of these guys and kind of disperse them out into an asteroid field and scan a bunch of asteroids using a bunch of hoverboards. So thank you, MIT, because wow, that is some really awesome technology. And again, here's your picture of the hoverboard or the theoretical. Nobody's created this just yet, but they've tested it in the lab and it works. They've got all the paperwork. Check my links below after the video if you don't believe me, because I had to see it to believe it, because I was like, let me see how this works. So again, it's not really like using anti-grav technology. It is actually using a thruster to bounce itself along the low gravitational and no atmosphere or low atmosphere planets or asteroids. So really cool stuff. Thank you, MIT, for that amazing atmospheric wonder, I guess. And that ends it for my space news for the week. Now, again, there was a lot more space news if you guys were paying attention, but most of it you guys have probably already heard about, already on your local news. So I'm not about to go dive into stuff you already know. And let's take a fun moment here and look into some memes that I have found over the week. Now, I was hoping Andrew would have a moment to send me some memes, and I haven't received any from him yet. Let me see if I've gotten any messages from him. Nothing yet, unfortunately. Sorry. That's okay, though. That's okay. I know he's working hard. Keep it up. So here's my first one for you guys. It's a little Christmassy. It says, Feliz Navidad. Somebody guys got really tired of looking at that blank space below Feliz and was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to put Navidad on here, and I'm going to enjoy my way to and from work every time. I mean, or maybe they work in a department store and that song is playing every day or every hour or something. I know many retail people, I'm sure my sister has had to deal with that every Christmas for probably the last like 20 years, because she has worked at a Meijer retail store. So yes, that this is just definitely something I could see a lot of my high school friends doing back in the day when we had nothing to do on our weekends. Let's go write Navidad on that Feliz sign and make everybody laugh as they're driving around. It'd be really funny. I thought that was super clever. Thank you for the internet for sharing that. I'm not sure who shared that on my Facebook page, but it was hilarious, and I thank you. And the next one I have here for you came from an old youth pastor that I had. He did some photo editing, had some fun, and I died laughing seeing this one. If you guys know anything about Indiana Jones, which is not a Christmas movie at all, but a lot of people will watch Indiana Jones around the Christmas time. I'm not really sure why. Anyway, he took the infamous leg lamp from A Christmas Story and crammed it into where the golden statue is that Indy has to swap out before the giant rock boulder comes and chases him away. Which I freaking love this. I mean, this is so clever. It's exactly what I miss, this kind of humor, because this is what we used to see in like the Scary Movie trilogies and all that stuff, and they kind of all faded out over the years. They had their run, I guess you could say. But this is it's not only new, but it's classic. It's actually two classics crammed into one. So thank you, Jeff Palmberg. You seriously made my week. I'm not sure if he created this image or just shared it, but it was wonderful, and I had to bring it to the world and share it with all of you. Hopefully this makes you all laugh, because it was definitely one of my favorites. So enjoy. Again, that was all I had for the memes for this week. I did do as much digging as I could, and I really couldn't get too far into trying to find any more creative memes for everybody. But hopefully those made you guys laugh a little bit. So now I got two last topics for you guys, and both are gaming related, surprisingly, kind of techie as well. Now, Xbox/Microsoft has been busy, and this year, not only did they come out with, or last year they came out with the Xbox Series S and Series X consoles, which did amazingly well and are still really hard to find. No surprise there. We're going to talk about them again here, but Microsoft also had their 20th anniversary. Hooray! With at least the Xbox anyway. I mean, obviously they've been around way more than 20 years for the two viewers that I have watching. But they did come up with the Xbox Fridge, which was a commemorative thing that was originally just a gimmick they posted on their Twitter page, which just ended up being hilarious and went viral within the first day that they posted it. So Microsoft was like, well, wait a minute, we might actually have to start making these. So if you're interested and you want a Microsoft Series X mini fridge, here you go, everybody. Here's your chance for $100, or I should say $99.99 plus shipping and handling. You can get your own mini fridge from Microsoft. Now, again, these things are designed to look identical to the original Series X system, but are 1.5 times the size. So they are definitely bigger than the system. I did have a comparison image, but it wasn't mine to share, so I wasn't able to. I'm sure you could pull that up online, though, in just a matter of minutes. So anyway, thank you, Microsoft, for bringing the fridge, because that is super cool. It holds four 12-ounce cans upright in its main section, and then there's like a snack section in the door and in the little top area, or you could put 2 cans up in the top area and 2 in the door, and then fill the rest with snacks or whatever the heck you want. I think this is cool, and I found out through Twitter and Reddit that the USB on the front of the mini fridge is legitimate and it actually works. You can charge devices right off of it. Huh, how cool is that? So, just if you're looking for that crazy cool gift, go ahead and order one, because I'll post the link later. Anyway, that's not the only thing Microsoft's come up with. They also teamed up with Adidas and decided, hey, let's take this 20th anniversary thing to the next level and make some shoes. Now, they made 3 different designs of shoes. I'll play the little video here. The one that I just showed you is the one that Adidas is currently have for sale on their website right now for $140. So you can get those. I will post the link again down in the description below for you guys to take a look at and see. Now, here's the video they put together. It's a little montage of the old Xbox commercial, if anybody remembers that. I barely remember the Xbox commercial, and they're showing the lime green see-through Xbox, which is one of the rarest ones ever, but it kind of gave Adidas a little, like, hey, this is more than just black and green. There's more to it than that, and let me show you how. So they put this little video together here. That was the first shoe. The current shoe that is for sale, is this guy. And I think he looks way more radical than his original one. They gave you even green and white laces if you want to switch them out rather than the black and white ones. I would probably stick with the black and white ones. I actually really, really like these. I think they are sleek looking. And on the on the inside of the shoe, it has the commemorative 20th anniversary in the heel of the shoe with the little Xbox icon. So there's also an Xbox icon on the side of the shoe, if you guys have noticed that as well, which is pretty sleek and is reflective, kind of I don't know, like a silk kind of embroiderment that Adidas put on the shoe. Really cool. It doesn't show like there's any limit to these shoes. Like I don't think they're going to be stopping the production of these anytime soon, it looks like, but they are sleek. You got some really good sneakers. They almost look like Vans to me. If anybody's into Van shoes, that's what these remind me of. And they look really super comfortable. If you're looking for some nice day shoes at work, Xbox might have you covered. So take a look at those. If you guys are interested, I think those are pretty freaking cool. So I got one last thing for you guys here today. Kind of talking about the Xbox Series S, X, as well as PlayStation 5 for this last one, which is the Unreal Engine 5. It's officially kind of beta out. So what does beta mean? That means that it's not officially production level software yet. They are working out a lot of kinks, but it's stable enough for people to use and test out and see how far they can go with it. And apparently they can get a lot done. And here's some images. So for those of you that don't know, The Matrix, and it has a new movie coming out called The Matrix Resurrections, and that is literally out today, if you guys didn't know. So technically The Matrix 4 is out today. Now, if anybody knows anything about The Matrix, there's way more going on here than meets the eye, because there was the original The Matrix, then there was the second one and the third one, then there was a fourth technical, which was the Animatrix, which was a bunch of mini movies they put together. So this is actually the fifth installment, technically, like sixth installment if you break down the Animatrix and all the different sub movies that explain all the timelines and how we got here, because that's really important. So this movie's out, and the only reason why I'm mentioning this movie is because it's the first way we're going to get to see the Unreal Engine. So right here, just in case you got kids watching, be careful because it gets a little graphic. Not in a bad way. It's not like bloody or anything. It's just really intense. Everything you're about to see in this video is all done on an Xbox Series X or S and or PlayStation 5. So, wow. I did not know they had this much power crammed into them. Now, I only have an Xbox One and 360 and PlayStation 1 and some other random games and stuff behind me. I don't have any of the newer generation stuff yet, mainly because it's really hard to find in my area. So why would I mention this? Why is this so important? Because, again, this is probably going to revolutionize gaming in a way that will really blow your mind. At one point, I couldn't tell if I was actually watching real actors or if I was looking at, you know, maybe replayed footage from the original Matrix movie that they somehow copied over, or from, you know, the second and the third movies. You know, maybe they dragged footage from there. Obviously, they did some mapping of you know, Keanu's face for this one part. But if you're looking really closely, this is actually really close to computer generated. This part I don't think actually is, and I would skip ahead if I could. Just give it a second. I mean, it's unbelievable, because this Unreal Engine does exactly what it says it's going to do, and it blows your mind with the realisticness of the ray tracing. Really is what they've done here. They've done multi-layer, not just ray tracing. And what does ray tracing mean? It means, you know, right now I have a reflection in my eyes of the screen, which you guys can't really see, but you can kind of tell. And there's also shadows and all kinds of lights being put on here, and that is all being done. That would be considered ray tracing if I was in a video game world, and that's what they're demonstrating here in the video. You got the real Keanu talking with the virtual Keanu talking with another virtual Keanu, but you can't tell which one's the real one anymore because they all look the same. Now I get it. There's every now and then you can tell that you're still in a video game world if you pay really attention to glass on moving vehicles. They have a weird frosted effect that I think the game engine puts into effect here. So here he is. He just lost his age. Now here comes Trinity, looking great as heck, as always. And again, she's virtual. They're all virtual. I think this looks kind of like an advanced Sims, like Sims 5 or something, which could probably run on this engine. I think this is going to revolutionize a ton of games. I did see a few engine building, like how they build the levels, and it looks super easy. Again, this right now, what you're all seeing is video games. This is video games. None of this was filmed in a studio. None of this was done by high compression servers in a cloud. This was done by a Xbox Series X and is being rendered by an Xbox Series X. Can you even tell that they're not driving a real car, or they're not driving through a real city? And these buses and the reflections and the puddles, got to look real close on the fire explosions, and a few of the graphical details in the distance have a hard time rendering quickly. And it's really minute. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're putting on a show here. I mean, it's just crazy. I know I've muted the audio because it's a lot of talking, as you can tell. But if you zoom past all this talking, it gets really, really into a lot more explosions. We're about to get really interesting here. Sorry, they're making all kinds of terrible puns and things, which is another reason why I muted it. I didn't want to be stuck with a Warner Brothers copyright or something. I'm not trying to steal anything. I'm just trying to promote a movie and the unbelievable engine that runs this game. Now, is there a game coming out? Not necessarily, but if you have an Xbox Series X console or a PlayStation 5, they do have a test engine of an Unreal 5 engine that's running the same map and everything. See, they're literally shooting the targets. This is legitimate gameplay. Imagine this being like Grand Theft Auto or really Call of Duty. For heaven's sakes, I'm just blown away by the realisticness in this video game, and it is stunning to me. I'm having a hard time pulling away. Now, they're playing on a PlayStation 5 right now. If you couldn't tell by the controller diagram, they're kind of switching back and forth to show you. I think the PlayStation 5 does better with the smoother frame rates, and the Xbox Series X does a better job with long-term rendering. So if you're just wandering around the city getting really cool shots, you want an Xbox Series X. If you want to actually play the game and blow stuff up, you're going to want a PlayStation 5. So you can drive cars in the test demo, but only parked cars, not ones that are currently moving on the road. You can't GTA and just pull people out of the car. I don't know if you can fly. It gives you a fly option, but it's really like you're flying a drone around the city and just kind of seeing what it looks like, which is cool. It's not really like the Morpheus fly, which is I thought what you were going to do, or I'm sorry, the Neo fly, where you're like jumping off the ground and flying around, and I thought that'd be really cool. They did have that in a couple of games. I think they'll start bringing some of the games back. Hopefully the movie's good. I have not watched it yet today. It's on my to-do list. But if you have HBO Max, you can watch it right now. Go tune it on, turn it on. It's probably a great movie. It's probably as good as the last two anyway. Those weren't too terrible. And if you're following the series, you know anything about The Matrix, they needed to make a fourth one. And I have a feeling they probably twisted this one, so it's probably going to be a couple more. So we'll see. We'll totally see how they did. I'm excited. But again, Unreal Engine 5, I think we're going to start seeing this pop up on a lot more video games. I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing, if not another Gears of War come out, running entirely on this software as well. I can't even imagine how much more real that game could look, because it already looked amazing on Unreal Engine 4. So, now you're adding multi-textures, ray tracing on every surface, as well as real-time 4K, 8K, and up to, I think, a 60-frame output. So, I mean, you're burning through your GPU doing this. But the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X have no problem handling it, and that is the future of gaming, everybody, right here. So, super, super exciting stuff. I want to say, if you guys have those consoles, definitely give that a try. If you don't have the console, but you have a really powerful PC, you have one more option, everybody. Don't fret. I did find a cool link for y'all to check out here. I will post in the link. I'm going to display it on the screen in just a second. Oh, she's going to blow this up. This is kind of cool. You get some bullet time in here. We haven't seen this since Max Payne, I think, was originally where we got the whole thing. But, I mean, even just the explosions are pretty cool. But if you're really paying attention to that fireball, it's fake. Anyway, I'll turn that off for you guys here. Here's the web view for you. Let me move this out of my face. I'll make this a little bigger. If you have a PC that can run Unreal Engine 5, you can download the beta right now, and I will show you. If you scroll down, it gives you options here, and I will also put those in the link for you below if you guys want to check those out. But right here, early access, very easy to get and totally free because they need you guys to test out this software and make sure that it works. And the more you guys get to test it, the better it is when it comes to final production release, and then we can actually get better games just like what we just saw. So I'm totally for better games. I'm totally for better videos and movies and all that stuff. And Unreal Engine 5 is exactly what we have been waiting for. Anyway, everybody, that is all I have for you today. It was a short episode, only 30 minutes, and I crammed a lot in there. But I want to say thank you to the 2 viewers and to several others. I hope that will tune in later this week. I know it's been a really busy one. It's a Christmas week, so be prepared because you got a couple of days left. So hurry, hurry, hurry. But I will see you for one last show for episode 42 before the new year. And I hope we have some more people tuning in then too. But I will see you all later. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. That is very important. And I very much appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a great night. I know I learned something new, and I hope you guys did too. Have a great one, everybody.